Thank you for joining me yet again for another unboxing video, and this is video number 2 in a series regarding very horror stories. This is video number 2, and we're moving on with the initial box set. Again, I backed this on Kickstarter. There was a tremendous amount of material that comes with this package. So the reality is I want to start with the first box set that was included. We already did a video and we showed you everything that was included in the Bloodlust video. We're going to go talk about Overplague today. So again, VHS is a Very Horror Stories is a role-playing game that's brought to you by Aces Studios out of Italy. And I backed this as a Kickstarter, and there's a tremendous amount of materials that were included in this Kickstarter. So I'm going piece by piece, video by video. This way you can get a good look at everything that's included for each of the each item that was included in the Kickstarter. And so let's get cracking again. So we're going to move on. Again, this is a horror-themed role-playing game brought to you by Aces. It's called Very Horror Stories, brought to you by Aces Games Productions. So let's crack this bad boy open. Again, this is video number 2. So again, in the original core box set, which was here, press play and scream, what came in there was again, in these games you're playing, the GM is considered the director of the films, and then you have a film that's included, and each one of these box sets contains all of, which again is basically an example of an 80s VHS tape. It's broken down that all the materials that you need to play this this film is right here in this packaging right here. So when you slide that out, again, it's pretty fantastic that you have, it looks again like it's an actual VHS tape, which is awesome. For those who never knew what a VHS, didn't own a VHS player, basically take this and you just pop it in, and the tape would wind, and the movie, this would open up, and the projector would it would roll along, and the film would be exposed, and that's how you would see the movie on the TV. And again, it takes really that old Be Kind and Rewind. It just really captures that flavor of the 80s time period, especially for horror films and horror movies. So again, the one we're going to talk about today is obviously Overplague. Let's read the backlit so we get a little concept about what this one's all about. Okay, so it says here, welcome to Overplague, the VHS dedicated to sci-fi horror. Prepare to fight alien creatures, destroyers of worlds that wander the cosmos, and extraterrestrial parasites, each who see only another nest or obstacle in your world. No weapon powerful enough to destroy them, no ship strong enough to withstand their attacks, no planet prepared enough to halt their invasion. This is Overplague, and nobody can hear you scream. Again, the homage to the movie Alien. Again, it's VHS-Very Horror Stories is the name of the role-playing system, brought to you by Aces Games. And it's for ages 18 and over. So there's your box. I'm going to put that to the side, and then we crack it open just like this, and all the goodness comes out of the box. So let's take a look here. Again, you'll have the rule book for the game itself. Again, the rule book is very large. Again, you are the director, so the GM or game master is considered the director. This is the rule book for the director. It gives you an understanding of how to play the game, and also everything that you're going to come across of during the actual event. I'm not going to read through all this, but I'm going to show you just some clips from the insert. Again, created by Aces Games. Again, they're from Italy. So here we go, background information, and gives you the Kickstarter people, say thank you for backing us, then explains to you what VHS is. Again, we're going to continue to move on. What is an RPG, role-playing game, players, character sheets, reality and illusion. Again, not going to go over too much of this information because I did that in the last video. But again, when you open it up, it gives you a whole introduction about how to run a film. The introduction talks about how to play a horror game, moderating blood, hand over eyes, the role of fear. Again, there's different, in this system, there's 4 different levels of fear, which they say that you can go through different things. The 4 different levels, let's see if it has it in here. Again, to play this game, you're going to need to have a character sheet, which is already included. You're going to have a whole bunch of stuff in their materials that they're going to provide for you that we're going to go through here. But I'm just trying to find where they had that. The character sheet, the film, the main set, the 6-sided dice, The director, you have the protagonists, which are the actors. You have the monsters, of course, which are going to be the villains that you're going to be fighting against. Table of contents you got right there. Playing with horror, again, moderating the blood. Again, there's different levels that you have hand over eyes. Again, if playing the game with people under age of 18, you might want to tone it down. But if you have adults who are playing, again, you could amp up the tension. There's 4 different levels of violence with all these different games that they have here. So there's the introduction. Playing Overplague. Let's just read that real quick. Overplague is the VHS dedicated sci-fi horror that not only covers contact with aliens attacking starships in deep space, but also brings from another planet coming in contact with humanity to study or taint it. While in the previous pages we covered generic guidelines of how to set a horror game, the following paragraphs will sink deep in this genre, like an alien parasite world. Time to dance, action and blood. Moving on here, again, different ways to look at this. Fangs, claws, mixing up things, advice for heart. Now, again, here, you got the 4 different types that I was talking to you about. You have guns blazing, which is 70% action, and horror is only 30% of the game. Screams and flamethrowers, so it's 50 and 50. No one can hear you scream. It's 30% action and more of a horror-themed film. And then Run Little Human, you have 10% action and 9% horror film. So again, this is talking about leveling out depending on who your players are that you're going to be using. Again, spicing things up, main set structure, side sets, again, searching, stage elements, various items, moving about a set, playing the game, searching, area-specific spaces, darkness, again, monsters approaching, main set types of sets. So there's just so much detail in here. Again, I'm not going to go through all this. It tells you the different maps that are included, the different characters that are included, and it gives you a whole background about everything you need to know. Then, of course, the monsters that you'll be fighting throughout your adventure. And then it goes into different items that you can find, different trinkets, different things of that nature, and then different additional films that you can add into with different ideas of how you can do. There's also solo play here. If you want to play your game solo, you can do that as well. So again, then it gives you some additional films that you could also run through during the actual gameplay. So again, they give you 4, they give you 1, give you 2. Okay, so included in this film here, you've got different films here. So let's give you the titles of each of them. So again, Monster Dreadful Events, we got that right there, the different films. So we have Eater of Worlds. We have Hunting Night. Of Eye and Claw. That's film number 4. Where's film number 3? 3 is Mission Dark Horizon. Again, Eye and Claw. The Queen, The Science of Pain, Screaming Iron, The War of the Matters, and then how to create your own film using the rule set that's here. So again, for more information, you're going to go to acersgames.it because it is an Italian company. Again, everything that you have here is located right here in the core rulebook. That's right there. Then you're also given some tokens. Tokens are very similar to the ones that were in the original box set, which I showed you in the last video. But here we go a little bit. I see a couple of differences right here. Then you need to flip them over. Again, you're going to have a whole bunch of different stuff that's in here. How cool are these tokens? Now, they're a little small, but again, really thick cardboard. And it goes right back in, so you know it's very, very high quality tokens right there. So you got a token sheet as well. Then you have your character cards. They're also included right here, character cards. So included in this set here, we have the Cosmic Brood, the Xenomatter, the Omniboros, the Doppelgrinder, the Mantis Prototype, XRM-83 John, Megumi Arna, Hans Struder, Elena Weaver, Aurora Argento. So we're going to go with the one that looks most familiar to most of us, which looks like a Ripley from the original Alien film. Looks very similar. Again, so what we got here, we give a little bit of background information and flavor. So all the cards are set up identically. You have the artwork, of course, which is absolutely the attention to detail in the artwork for all these characters, and all the things that you get from Very Horror Stories is top quality, 100%. These are nice thick cards. Again, you got your player cards all set up here. So it takes very little time to actually get this game up and running. Of course, you have to read the rule book and go through the idea of how to play it. But once you get the idea of how to play the game, all of a sudden, again, this is not a how-to-play video, but once you go through here and get a general gist of how to play the game, all your characters are already pre-made and pre-set up. So again, if you want to play horror, so again, in the first box set that was part of the Kickstarter, you want to play a horror movie, well, you do Bloodlust. If you want to do a science fiction one, you do Overplague. If you want to do one that's more thematic and does a little bit more with psychology, you do Unchained, which is more about psychics and otherworldly things versus being the regular tropes of a guy chasing you in the forest or aliens fighting you. That's more psychological, more witchcraft and things of that nature. So again, all the cards are set up the same way. You've got the artwork, you've got the title of the character's name, the actor who's playing it. Again, it's set up that this is a movie, okay? So again, and you're the director of that film. So again, this is some background information about them. Then when you look at the card, it gives you all the stats you need to know. Instability, so with the brain, how many wounds she can take, the parameters, your strength, your agility, your mind, your charisma, your special abilities that you have, beacon of hope, traits, accurate planner, strategic camouflage, struggle with torment, torment, and then victims rage of fighting. Then the equipment that they have an energy rifle, an Eshtar serum, and a lock picking kit. So there you go. So again, all of them are set up identically the same way there. So there's Elena Weaver, Aurora Argento. Take a look at that a little bit closer up. Getting the background information, and then all the stats are up top, the traits, and then the equipment, and they have a little blurb down there about the character. Okay, Hans Studer, Megumi Kuriyama, again, XRM83 John, who's obviously an android, and then you've got your Mantis prototype, the Doppelgrinder, the Omniboros, and the Xenomatter, and the Cosmic Brood. So those are all the characters and villains that you'll be fighting in this adventure that you have here, or in this film. Then you have 4 maps that are also included. You have the research station, the alien planet, the impact site, and the Casimir 3. So again, I'm going to push this to the side real quick. This way I can very easily just pop right in and show you the maps themselves. Again, they look like regular road maps, which are really cool. You would find in any gas station. Gives you a little picture of the actual map itself. Now, there's a couple things that are really cool about these maps. I'm going to start on the inside. Again, I like to fold them up just a little bit, just so we can ease of laying it down, so you lay down nice and flat. So again, we look for the map. We start, there's part A. We got B, level C, and yours goes down to D, E, F. Again, as you're searching through the area, you'll be checking out all these areas. So you got E, F, you got G, H, I, you got J, you got K, L. And then we go from the fields basically into the homes. You got so K, L, and then we start with M. Arrow showing you where you can enter. You got N, O, P section, which goes all the way down there, then T, Q, R, S, T is over here, U is the L shape, and there's V. So there's your one map that you received. Now, all these maps are pretty cool as well. You have player aids on the back of them. So if you want to hand this out, you can do that also. You can give a player aid to each one of the, different people who are playing the game. So if you got 4 people playing the game, everybody gets a rule sheet right in front of them that they have right off the bat. Okay, so you got your movement sequence right here, the rules, using fear, counterpoints. Again, combat turn order. You've got escape and chasing. Then you come down here, you have the capture sequence and go through all the rules that you would need to know to play a game of VHS successfully. Again, VHS stands for Very Horror Stories. So there again is your map. So you get 4 of these. So this one again was labeled the research station. So we got that right here. Put that right down, the research station. Push that up there. Then we have the alien planet. Again, they all open up the same way. Just like a regular road map would. Again, I have gone to gas stations recently, and they do have these fold-out maps. I know most people use their cell phones, their GPS on it, and everything else like that. We used to use MapQuest. We used to use a lot of different things back in the day. But these handheld maps, of course, always come in very, very handy in real life. And of course, you have to use these in your role-playing games as well. So as we continue going on, here is your letter A. There's your B section, your C, your D, your E, then your F, G, H, I, J, your K, then your L, M section, N, O, back over here, where's P, there's your Q section, R is down there, there's S as well, there's your T section, and U. Again, every one of them has the same player sheet, player guide in the back, which is really, really handy. That's really, really cool. And of course, it shows you an example of the tokens on the back as well. So that's your second map. So you got your, again, you got your rule book, you got your token sheet, all of your character cards, including heroes and villains. So again, the setup time is very, very quick. And then you have your maps. Moving on to, we have our third map, which is the impact site. So as we continue going forward, again, I like to fold them out just a little bit, so this way we can make sure that when we get it, it lays flat down immediately. Now, one thing about these that I have to mention, because you guys have seen other videos that I've released here, that you have to understand that these are not laminated. So they are not dry erase markers like they do with the Paizo, or what they do with the, or that they do with the Loc battle mat. So these are not laminated. So if you go to, a Kinko's, or you go to Office Max or something like that, and you go and you get yourselves, or Staples or whatever is still around, you can go there and you can get these laminated. Then you can use your dry erase markers or your permanent markers and just wipe them off when you're done. These are nice, thick quality paper, but they are not laminated, so you're not going to be able to dry erase with them. So there's your letter A, your B, your C, your D, E, F. Here's your G, H, section I is pretty big, J is up there, K, L, M, N, your O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. There's the full map right there. Again, on the back, you have your player aid right on the back. Again, you hand this out. Make sure they don't look at the other side of the map. You just have this right in front of you. You got the whole game right there in writing right in front of you. Again, if there's any comment that I can make that would be a detractor, would be the fact that the writing on these are pretty small. I would like to have it increased a little bit more. So if you made the map just a little bit bigger, I know that might cost a little bit more money and it might be a little hard to get into one of the packages, but at the same time, being that I'm a little bit older, again, I just like to have the writing just a little bit bigger. Even though I do wear glasses, I would like to see the writing just to be just a little bigger font. And last but not least, we have again another map, which is the Casimir 3. Looks like it's the inside of a spacecraft. Yep. That's what it looks like. So I want to make sure. All right, so we've got the Casimir 3, which is obviously a spacecraft. You got the upper deck. So let's take a look. Let's start in the front. Let's start at the front of the ship here. Let's start off let's start at the top here where it says the side view of the ship itself. Tells you where the different locations of the different decks are. So it says here you got your main engine, secondary engine, your gunnery station, your lower deck 1, lower deck 2, and you have your command bridge. So that's the front end, that's the back end that we got here. So starting from the main deck, we have area A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and K. That's the main deck. Okay. If you go to the upper deck, right here. Oh, we're letter K. So K, sorry, I missed that one down there. Letter K, which is the core bay. Then we're going to go down to the lower deck, so you can see that as well. Lower deck. You have area M, N, O. Then we go to the upper deck. You have P, Q, section area R. So again, each map has to do with a different adventure that you're going to be going on. Again, all these are located and go along with the core rulebook. Again, you have your token sheet, you have your player cards, which are your pre-made characters, and also your villains are also in that deck, or the aliens that you're going to be fighting just happen to be in this one. You have four maps. You have your rulebook. Again, it gives you a basic introduction as to what a role-playing game is. It talks about, again, it goes into the idea of you being the director of the film, how you are a director of the film, what level of horror you want to have inside the game. Then it talks about how to play the game, shows you different maps, and then in the back end, it shows you all the different adventures that are part of the whole system. And again, this was part of a Kickstarter package, but this is Overplague, the movie Overplague, which is part of the VHS series, which is very horror series role-playing game. And this one is part of the core box set, which included 2 other feature films. So it's a total of 3, include Bloodlust and Unchained. But today we're just discussing Overplague, the VHS-Very horror stories, science fiction, or ode to science fiction horror. That's this introduction video that they have there. Again, it's brought to you by Aces Games, and for more information you're going to go to acesgames.it, because they are based out of Italy. And again, it's 18 age and over. So as always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you can give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below. You can also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.